People love him, so he has done a great job. I just want to say this. I haven't read one word on this thing. Who the hell else could do this? And I think I gave you something. It's just a roadmap, and it's a roadmap to victory. You have so many good nuggets. You have to use them. If you can sell them, we're going to win, because we've won 2 races in like 50 years. It's, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but just don't fight it. It doesn't make sense. There have been 2, and they were unusual circumstances. So whether it's a Republican or Democrat, whoever wins the presidency, the other party wins the midterm. And it doesn't make sense, because we've had the most successful year probably in the history, they say. And now you add what happened essentially yesterday. We've had the most successful first year of any president in history. And it should be a positive. And make it a positive. So with that, I leave you. I do. And I started by saying I love you all, and I'll end by saying I love you. You're amazing people. What you do for this country is incredible. And thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Here at the South Park Leering Center, we're not just retarded, we're Minnesota retarded. Ilhan Omar was educated here, and she's completely retarded. And I know this might come as a surprise, but I, myself, am retarded.
I don't know who did that. I don't think that was actually South Park. That was just unbelievably funny. Remember when he was getting mad when people were driving by? People driving by my house yelling retard. Oh, what a wonderful reality we live in, guys. Oh, can you feel the winning? What's up, everybody? Got a loaded show tonight. Welcome. J6, happy fake insurrection day. It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years. Fake insurrection day. Loving it. Oh my goodness. The White House dropped a bomb on the J6 narrative today. So we're going to be covering that tonight. We're also, Bongino and Matt Gaetz spit fire at each other, going back and forth. My goodness, what is happening there? So we got to go through that. Got to call out Thomas Massie on his Epstein lies, caught red-handed in his deep lie. Going to go through that tonight, catch up on some of the good news coming out of the economy. And of course, Greenland. What's going on there? NATO, not too happy. Europeans firing shots at Trump. Gonna have to go over that tonight as well. And then at the end, I got a little surprise of something that might be coming Friday or Monday. Could be big, earth-shattering news coming from the Supreme Court. But before we get started, guys, I'm Ace. Welcome to the show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you don't mind. Please hit that share button. Send it to some black pillars. They won't be black pilling after they watch tonight's show. Repost if you're on X. Please hit that. I would really appreciate. The algos don't like truth tellers, so I got to rely on you guys to do the work and get it out there. All right, having said that, let's say hey to the Chizat. If you're new to the show, please hit up the chat, throw the comments in there, your questions. I do my best to read it and get to you guys. US1, what's going on tonight, brother? Speaker Man says it couldn't be a family feud inside MAGA. Never, ever. Vince Feliz, what's going on? Astronaut Words, what's going on? Scott Volkovich is here. Linda Telly, Moody in the house. Frank Anastasio, Just Mike, AZ Tropic over there on Rumble. Michael Boyle, what's going up? Cass Sink, Kim Wiley, Lochtefeld, Butterfield's in the Chizat as well, and Nick Majors. Good evening, my good sir. If you're on X and you're chatting, I'm sorry I cannot see your comments. I will catch up to you when I get a chance. Hopefully Elon fixes that at some point. I would love to get X chat going in here as well, because sometimes sometimes the biggest audience is on X. Not all the time. In fact, not usually, but sometimes. Would love to have those people in here. So, all right, well, let's get to the first things first. All right. So, let's just cover this real quick, because this Dan Bongino thing. So remember, I covered it last night. Bongino back, calling out the black pillars, calling out the grifters. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Made me very, Very happy to see it. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of calling out black pillars myself when we got so much winning going on. But Matt Gaetz weighed in, and this is what's interesting to me. After Bongino's post about how he'd started in the Tea Party, running for office, all that, Matt Gaetz wrote, "Grok, when did Bongino run for office and indeed perform as a candidate?" And Grok responded, but Bongino took that very, very angrily about that. "Oh, what's up, Jim Boswell? Yeah, it is using your new name. I didn't know that was you, Speaker Man. Well, I can't see the new names, like the old names, the way they used to do it. So I have to call you guys out by your tags, which I hate. YouTube, if you could fix that, I'd really appreciate it. Let's go back to the old way." Anyways, Bongino lost it. Says, "Maybe if I spent more time at shady parties with moneyed insiders, I would have won. I heard you know a bit about that. You've always been a dick, by the way, grifting off your daddy like a suckling little doggy. When I first met you in the Panhandle, I knew you were a POS. It's written all over that phony face of yours." Holy smokes, shot fired. Jeez Louise. Now this, I got to be honest with you guys, shocking to me. Gaetz is one of the favorites in the MAGA base. He just is. But so is Bongino. And to see them going like this, and I gotta say, as far as I know, in the MAGA movement, there's only really one thing separating the two of them. And that's that Bongino actually served in the Trump administration. Gaetz did not. Now, Gaetz was tapped to be Attorney General and then turned it down 4 days later, backed out because of all the pressure. There's a few ways to look at that. One of the ways I looked at it is that I actually believe Trump knew he was never going to be AG, and Trump set him up so he could actually get out of being in the House. I don't think Matt wanted to be there anymore. He won overwhelmingly, but it wasn't in his heart to stay there. So Trump gave him an out, said, "I'll nominate you. We know you won't get through. We'll use that as an excuse. And you'll be free." Because as soon as he accepted the nomination, he had to resign from the House. So there's that. And I mean, it happened so quickly, there was no fight put up. So that's why I think that's actually what happened. The question is, did Trump, because Gaetz was a reliable vote for Trump. There's no doubt about that. He really was. And as far as I know, as far as I've seen from the outside looking in, Gaetz hasn't gone all MTG on Trump. So this is very interesting to me because there's obviously some bad blood here. And the question is why? And the question is, does Bongino know something? Or is this just a big nothing burger? But this is straight going at, this is crazy. This is, Gaetz was always accused of this stuff. He was exonerated. He was under an ethics committee investigation. They didn't find anything, but always accused of this stuff. And he got off. And Gaetz admitted himself that back in the day, he was a dick and maybe grew up a little bit. But Bongino just calls it out like he is guilty. So either Bongino knows something or this is just an old spat. I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. There's not enough here. I will say, though, that Matt Gaetz responded back with some love, honestly. Said, "I won't allow Dan Bongino to blackpill me." This is pretty funny. Things I love, the Dan Bongino show and suckling little doggies. That's pretty gross, I gotta be honest.
I'm going to tell you something. When it came to the Secret Service debacle and keeping President Trump alive, I met with Matt Gaetz up at the Heritage thing when I did that little congressional hearing we did. And there's no one more concerned about keeping Trump safe than this guy.
Interesting. I mean, who knows? Like, that doesn't, now it sounds like it's not personal, at least going back. I don't know. But I gotta say, this little spat, these 3 tweets blew up the MAGA side of the internet because Bongino, he's a big deal right now. Word is his show might even be back tomorrow. So, I mean, it's such a big deal. I talked about Bongino last night and I had the biggest show I've had in months. I mean, 5,000 people watched my show last night that's just YouTube alone. That's a big show for me. And so, obviously there's a lot of lot of following Bongino right now. So this going on was pretty huge. And I'm sorry, guys. This is one of the times I do not have an answer. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. Usually I can tell you exactly what's going on. This one weirds me out because, again, Gaetz has seemed to be loyal. And so for Bongino doing what he did, I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy, but I had to address it because it's on everybody's mind. Everybody's wondering what's going on here. It's everywhere. I mean, I had usually when a big story happens, I might have 2 people send it to me. I had 5 people send this to me today. I'd already seen it on my own as well. I wasn't even going to talk about it tonight, but 5 people, that tells me I needed to weigh in. So pretty crazy, pretty exciting stuff. I don't know what's going to happen here. So we're going to be following this closely, but I will say, this is the kind of stuff I pay attention to. Bongino's always been a little bit of a hothead, but dude, to out somebody like this, to go after somebody like this, that's the only thing I can think of is Bongino stressed to the max. And that's the only thing that excuses Gaetz, or Bongino knows something. And man, that would suck not to have Gaetz be one of the good guys. But anyways, that's my thoughts on that. We're going to move on because there's actually much bigger stories going on that just are not getting the same amount of attention, but we'll watch it anyways. Let me throw it in here though. I'm going to throw up a little poll just for fun, asking, does Bongino know something? Answer yes if you think Gaetz actually might be guilty of something. Answer no if you just think Bongino was being a little bit of a hothead. All right. And let's move. Let me catch up in the chat real quick before I move on here. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Don't be shy. Cadmus says, why is he a hero? Not one corrupt politician has been. Oh God, are we going to do this? Cap, why you blackpilling, bro? Listen, if you want to understand the full story of why the arrests that you want haven't happened yet, I talked about it for a good 15 minutes last night, broke down the entire reasoning why it's not even logical to have expected them yet. Listen, you got to know how this stuff works. If you understand our political system, if you actually want them to go to prison or to be put away for good, then you can't rush it. So that's all I'm going to talk about on this. We're not blackpilling here, bro. I'm sorry. It's the same old question I get a million times. It's not even worth talking about it. What percentage, Mike? I don't know. What were you going to ask? Your thing cut off. Okay, let's get moving on to happy fake Insurrection Day. Yeah, that's right. 5 years since J6, one of the greatest, largest psyops ever pulled off on the American people. In fact, I'd go so far to say maybe it wasn't even a fake insurrection. Maybe the insurrection was the toppling of Trump's first term. Which, by the way, let's be honest. If Trump stays in, guess what? We have Mike Pence as vice president. Total fraud, uniparty, neocon. We got rats in the first term. There were rats in the administration. That's one of the reasons Trump struggled so much, didn't get as much done in the first administration. He was being undercut by his own people the entire time. If Trump stays in 2020, yeah, we don't get things as bad as what happened with Biden, but I guarantee you we don't get Trump 2.0 like we got now. We don't get Maha. We don't get Tulsi Gabbard as DNI. We don't get JD Vance set up for the future. No, the best thing that ever happened to us. I mean, it's hard to think of it that way, but sometimes you got to look at these things 2020 backwards. The best thing that happened to us was Trump got ousted in 2020. It just is, or 2021. It was the best thing to happen to us. And it was the dumbest decision they ever made because they allowed him to gather strength, get smarter, build a real team around him, plan for 4.5 years, go over every mistake, find out every traitor on the Republican side, weed them out, and come in guns blazing, way stronger. Trump term 2.0 just in the first year. He accomplished more in year one 2025 than his entire first term. Yeah. So we're on course for a 400% better term than we got in term 1. That never would have happened. In fact, term 2 would have been worse than term 1. Just saying. He would have had a Democratic House. It would have been ugly. It would have been ugly. The best thing was to have those 4 years of hell under Biden. Trump never would have won the popular vote. We had millions upon millions of people wake up. Yeah, we needed those 4 years. It wasn't fun. It dug us a slightly bigger hole, but we came back with a way bigger shovel. In fact, if Trump term 1 was a shovel to dig us out of a hole, Trump term 2 is a freaking excavator. That's what we're doing. And it was so worth it, even though it was tough to go through. But as Scott Adams says, here is the happy fake insurrection day.
Fake insurrection day.
It is sad though. Look how sad Scott looks. I'm honestly, I'm not a big crier. This one's going to get me when he goes. It's maybe a few days from now, a couple weeks, but this is going to be a tough one. But Scott talks about this. He's been on it the whole time, saw through the nonsense from the beginning, even as somebody not super politically inclined, just from the psyop part of it, the psychological warfare part of it. Scott always saw through it. And anyways, again, I'll just play it again for a second.
Well, let's start out by saying happy fake insurrection day, January 6th. Do you remember when you thought it was ridiculous to imagine that Democrats would be playing complicated hoaxes on the public? It didn't seem like anything that could actually happen, right?
So crazy. You guys remember when it happened? Well, the Trump administration remembered when it happened, and they went scorched earth today. In fact, they dropped this bomb. If you go to whitehouse.gov/J6, you get this. Yeah. I like the little rumble effect they put in there. They created an entire page on, this is official government document now, being that it's online on the official whitehouse.gov site. Official document debunking the entire thing. Guys, this is the kind of thing we want to have got if Trump came in. This is baller. And now everybody can go here. And you know who's going to fight it? I mean, there'll be people who say, hey, college professors and high school teachers trying to Democrats trying to tell everybody, no, it's fake, it's a lie. But this is official government. And deep down inside, people who trust institutions, who are mostly liberal, especially young people, they're going to at least look and they're going to read this. This is out there now. And this site brings receipts. Let me skim through here real quick. President Trump took decisive action to pardon J6 defendants unfairly targeted, overcharged, political examples. Talks about all that. Thousands of Americans pay the price. Since January 6, 2021, Pelosi spent 3 years and nearly $20 million in taxpayer funds on her partisan select committee, producing a scripted TV spectacle to fabricate an insurrection narrative and pin the blame on President Trump. This is amazing. Video and audio recordings, including unaired HBO footage from her own daughter, show Pelosi repeatedly acknowledging responsibility. Unbelievable. This is top grade stuff here. The Democrats masterfully reversed reality after J6. What a great script right here. Branding peaceful patriotic protesters as insurrectionists and framing the event as a violent coup attempt orchestrated by Trump despite no evidence of armed rebellion or intent to overthrow the government. In truth, here we go, it was the Democrats who staged the real insurrection. My God, Trump has balls the size of the Indiana Jones stone in the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is the size of President Trump's cojones. Rolling down there, trying to crush Indy. That That is the size of President Trump's cojones and his team. I mean, this is official government documents. This is unbelievable. They posted this. By certifying a fraud-ridden election, ignoring widespread irregularities, weaponizing federal agencies to hunt down dissenters, while Pelosi's own security lapses invited the chaos they exploited to seize and consolidate power. This gaslighting narrative allowed them to persecute innocent Americans, silent opposition, distract from their own role in undermining democracy. And here's a little video for us. 40 seconds. I take responsibility, says Nancy Pelosi. Sure you do.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Wow.
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for not
just
having them just
prepared
prepared for more. Wow. The video just posted this. Pelosi in her mask, her little COVID mask, wearing it like a good little dim, blasting it out there that I take responsibility for it. Just unbelievable. And he's got it all here. The call to action, President Trump delivers a speech, Patriots march to the Capitol. It's the whole timeline with the timestamps. This is brilliant. They respond to the tensions, Trump urges calm. This is the part that Jack Dorsey eliminated from Twitter when Trump posted this video saying, calm down, guys, go home in peace. Yeah, Trump said that, and Jack Dorsey erased it from Twitter so nobody could see it. That's there. Then the leaked Pelosi videos with the security lapse, watch Pelosi footage, it says there. Ashley Babbitt murdered in cold blood. Mike Pence refuses to act. Stolen election certified. Trump silenced. Mass arrests of patriotic protesters. J6 Select Committee exposed. Weaponized prosecutions target Trump. FBI entrapment operation exposed. Lawfare fails. President Trump prevails. Unbelievable. This is crazy. And I love every stinking second of it. You know where I'm going to go from now on? If anybody ever brings J6, I'm going to be like, well, you know what? Hey, I actually got a resource for you. We should have this on everything. We should have a page like this for Russia, J6, the stolen election, you name it. Give me a hoax of the last 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. Give me a page like this. This is brilliant. It's well formatted. It just looks great. President Trump corrected a historic wrong, freeing Americans unjustly punished. Read the proclamation. He puts their faces here so you can see who they are. And then you get this House interim report exposing the critical security failures. You actually get the report. You can click on it there. I mean, just brilliant. You get his full speech, the edited out part from the BBC where he just won all those millions of dollars, and then a bunch of news stories at the end. This is just absolutely brilliant. Happy fake Insurrection Day. This is so good. So guys, again, use this. If you have anybody in your head, TDS types, J6, you can't beat that video. You can't beat the report. It's all here. So absolutely incredible job. I think it's just one of the smartest things I've seen them do. And that's saying a lot. Was it so? Pelosi sounded drunk. Yeah, I think she's always drunk. She's got more money though than Kamala. Kamala's always on that box wine. You know, she loves her box wine, but you know, Pelosi drinks the good stuff. That woman's pounding down martinis left and right. You know what she's got to be I bet she's a dirty gin drinker. That's what she is. Gin, a little olive juice, maybe a twist, Yeah, she's the type. Walking around, swirling it. Remember the old Cosby skit? There's the finger gets pruny from swirling. That's what she is. Well, we got more on this. So we had Victor Davis Hanson, just great stuff. I'm not gonna play this clip tonight because I'm already running a little long, but he completely denies it. But you guys know I don't need to play it for this audience. We have Happy J6 from MJ Truth playing this little clip. These guys,
they set us the fuck up. That's what
they set us up. That's what they did.
They set up 64. Oh, absolutely. And then they asked you to come 2 hours later.
Come 2 hours later. And of course the Democrats have to do what Democrats do, just look like a mass retardation. So the Democrats came out on the House steps today, held a candlelight vigil for J6. I mean, is there anybody more out of touch than these people? Americans just don't care. The only people I know who care about January 6th are total hardcore leftist TDSers, like Trump derangement syndrome. Like, that's it. The people who hate Trump, no matter what he does, no matter who what he accomplishes, it doesn't matter. They will hate him no matter what. Jeffrey Epstein could come back as a ghost from the grave and say, Donald Trump never touched a girl. Everything was a lie. I tried to take him down. He could do it on national TV. Every nation tuned in. Be the greatest, craziest thing we've ever seen in the world. And these people would still believe that Trump is somehow on the Epstein list. That's who I'm talking about. They're the only people who still care about this. And these idiots, they have to go out there and just make a show. Who's the candlelight for anyways? Nobody died except for the person they shot, or their guy shot. Their guy, the Capitol policeman who shot Ashley Babbitt, and guess what happened to him after that? Yeah, you know what? You know those Somali daycares? Well, he got one too. It's no joke. The dude got a daycare so they could launder millions of dollars to him. Yeah, good job, buddy. Way to kill that white chick. That's the real crime on J6. And but they got to do a candlelight vigil for literally nothing happening that day, except for a few people going on tour in the Capitol, and a couple of them breaking some stuff. And then we got this fraud, Mike freaking Pence. I won't honor him enough to hear his voice. This Judas, this man who got his, pieces of silver. Mike Pence disgusts me. I have a special kind of disgust for Mike Pence. And one of the reasons why is because I was duped by Mike Pence. I was. Back when I was a Bushy, back when I was, the veil was over my eyes, and I literally believed that the Republican Party, as it was a good thing. I didn't know about the uniparty yet. I didn't. I bought the Iraq narrative. I bought the 9/11 narrative. I did. I was all in. I thought Bush was great. And you know who I thought was especially great out of the governors? Mike freaking Pence. Good Christian man, true leader, man of God, man of faith, somebody I wanted. When Trump picked him as vice president, I was stoked. I had no idea the cockroach this man is. And that's why I have a special level of disgust for him, because he hides behind the faith veil. He uses the greatest thing in the world, which is the Christian faith, the most life-changing force in the world, the most pure thing in the world, which is a relationship with Jesus. He uses it to advance evil. And there is a special place in hell for those kind of people. They are the worst of the worst. As Jesus called the Pharisees, whitewashed tombs. The worst people in the world are those who hide behind faith and do evil things behind it. They are the worst. And this is exactly who Mike Pence is. He is as horrible as it comes. As Vince says, the fly got it right. Yeah, the fly at the debate. Who would have known that between Pence and Biden might actually be the cleaner creature? Who would have ever guessed that? But it actually might be true. Because there's one thing to be on the side of evil, to be outwardly an enemy. There's another thing to betray the good from behind. It's not the Romans who actually crucified Jesus. Yes, at the behest of the Jews, but it was the Romans who crucified him. It's not the Romans who always get blamed for Jesus's death. It's Judas and the Jews, the people who betrayed him, that get the blame. And rightfully so. I mean, truthfully, the true story is we are all to blame because he did it for all of us. And it was meant to be. So I'm not one of those people who's like, Jews are evil because they killed Jesus. No, I understand this, what needed to happen. But my point is, historically speaking, how it's looked at. The betrayers are always the worst. Benedict Arnolds are always the worst. And Mike Pence is a Benedict Arnold. And as he comes out today on this 5th anniversary of Jan 6th, you see, he's put up there by the Bushes, by the way. The Bushes, I showed you guys this about 4 months ago. The Bushes are making their moves. They don't have much there because they have no momentum, no movement anymore. There is literally nobody supporting them, but they still got a crap ton of money. They have no support from the people, but they have billions and billions and billions of dollars behind them. Power brokers. The Bush dynasty wants back in. And they're going to move heaven and hell as far as they can to get Vance out and to try to get someone else in. And so far, they're pushing up a few people, and Pence is one of them. Pence is trying to make a comeback. It's not going to work because once you betray the people, you don't come back. But that doesn't mean they won't try. And here he is trying to make a post on Jan 6 as if he's some somber, wise man that has some insight for us. Says he wants to pass along remarks about that fateful day. What a phony. What an absolute phony. Tragic day became a triumph of freedom when leaders in both chambers reconvened and finished democracy's work on our Constitution. You know what he's really saying? He's saying it became a glorious day because they got rid of Trump. That's what he really means by that. This is exactly what he means by that. And then he hides like the coward he is. So help us God. Absolutely disgusting. Thank God the comments tell the truth. Sanctimonious stooge, Judas, you're one of the greatest traitors in American history. I'm waiting for someone to tell me why Antifa was charging in. F you, you're nothing more than a traitor. I mean, I love it. There is not one comment that is favorable to this. I'm telling you, he can't come back. There's no coming back. Mike Pence is destroyed. He's done. And thank God for that. But again, the Bushes are going to keep trying, and he's going to be one of the people they put him up there. Do I know something? What, did I get a fly? What are you trying to tell me? Tammy, what's with Mike Flynn going after Mike Johnson? You know, don't get me started on Mike Flynn. I'm just saying, I'm not 100% sure Flynn's one of the good guys. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get into details. I'm not saying 100% one way or the other. And I'm also not 100% sure Mike Johnson is. But I'll tell you, I actually feel more confident about Mike Johnson than I do of General Flynn. But that's a conversation for another day. So yeah, we'll talk about that another day. Just let me leave it at this on the General Flynn thing. A, Trump's never put him back into a place of a position in the administration. That's number one. B, or number two, I sound like freaking Buzz in Home Alone here. You know, 1, 2, and D. But the second part is that he was an Obama guy. He got started as an Obama guy. And I know he came out, he went to prison for Obama. He came out, he said stuff against it. Seems like he's completely turned around. I know all of that. I didn't say I'm 100% that he's one of the bad guys. I'm just saying I don't 100% trust Flynn. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Vince wants me to put a poll out. Okay, let's put a poll out. First of all, 93% said Bongino knows something. So that's not high confidence for Matt Gaetz. So I'm shocked by that. I thought it'd be closer to 50-50. Let's do this. Let's say, does it? Yeah. Okay. Who do you trust more? Jen Flynn or Mike Johnson? This is going to be interesting. I have a feeling Flynn's going to win with my crowd, but we'll see. Maybe you guys will shock me. You did shock me with the Bongino thing. So, all right, let's keep going. Chuck Schumer. I can't listen long to Chuck, but let's laugh at him for a second. He's just not happy that we don't, he's not happy that we don't think J6 is not the biggest deal ever.
We went out the Senate door, made a right turn, opened another door, and we were within 20 feet of those rioters, of those insurrectionists. One of them looked at me and said, "There he is, get him." But because of the work of my brave police officers, led by Mike Lazinski, I wasn't hurt. Let us never mince words about what happened again. Those
Let's skip ahead a little
how
bit.
disgraceful, how despicable, how disgusting, how low. Donald Trump showed what a low human being he is by his actions. That day and in preceding days, where he tried to lie and cover up
Oh my God.
the truth.
Chucky.
In the face of such blatant lies, let us all tell the truth and let future generations remember it. On January 6th, our Capitol Police
Is
officers...
this guy not just one of the most pathetic people you've
heroes.
ever seen in your life?
Our DC
He's
police
gone. He's not even going
were
to run in the
heroes.
next election. AOC will be the new senator of freaking New York. He's gone. What a joke. What an absolute joke. So that, yeah, they should still be wearing their sombreros. I agree, Strahan. That's, look at, by the way, look at Jeffries. Look how gay he looks. He's a little lean. Who leans like that when they're standing, by the way? That's pretty crazy. Lochtefeld says, get him off the screen. Listen, man, I only play for a few seconds, okay? Okay, Lochtefeld, you got to have tougher skin, bro. Got to have tougher skin than that. But listen, all kidding aside, there is only one person who summed up January 6th better than anybody else. He said it exactly as it should be said. The greatest words to ever sum up January 6th. Norm Macdonald, who said it all that day he saw it. I loved when the violent terrorists made sure to respect the velvet ropes in Statuary Hall. Oh man, I miss Norm. I don't know about you guys. Norm was one of the good ones. He might have been the funniest guy alive, and it's just too sad. We lost him 30 years too young, but he summed it up the best. From the very beginning, anybody paying attention, you had to lie to yourself from the beginning to actually think it was something. So happy fake insurrection day. And that's all, in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I'll say about that. But actually it's not. I just want to remind you guys, use this resource, whitehouse.gov/J6, for anybody who needs any information on this, because it is the absolute best. And just stoked we have that. Oh yeah, I remember the kneeling for Floyd. Let's not go into that. I can't do BLM. I don't have the energy. Okay. I got another story for you guys though. And that is the exposure of one Thomas Massie. It's not going good for Massie right now. This is the man who has been trying to take down Donald Trump at every opportunity, while all the while pretending like he's one of us. that he's the true America firster. He's got all the libertards believing him because he is apparently one of theirs. Although the more and more it comes out, I truly believe Massie is a puppet of the deep state because nothing else makes sense. Well, now that the Epstein files are released and more to come, but they've been signed off by Donald Trump, he rug pulled them. They have nothing left going for them there. It's only looked at bad for Democrats. People are coming out frustrated that they were lied to by Thomas Massie about what's in the Epstein files. Michael Tracy, reporter, says Thomas Massie told me the fact that Epstein survivors declared 2 months ago they would give him a list of child sex traffickers to read from the House floor, but then never did, does not make him question the veracity of the accusations. It's not their job to release the names. So when questioned about it, there's MTG, the coward, standing with the socialist communist. I can't decide which one he is. I'm going to call them both because they're, in my view, pretty much equally bad. Ro Khanna, the guy who just announced the wealth tax they're trying to pass in California and is now watching as several billionaires are now leaving that state because they don't even want to risk the chance of it getting passed. This guy he's trying to set himself up as a man of the people to run in 2028. And I'm not too worried about him, but I will say this. The dude is a snake. He's very, very good at talking on, he's duped many moderates into believing that he's moderate. And if anybody has a chance in 28 from the Dem side, it's this guy. He is a snake and you need to be watching him. And who is Massie and MTG standing with? With the survivors that don't have any names? Listen, I know there's plenty of Epstein victims and I feel for all of them, but I also know there's a bunch of frauds that have come forward and lied that they were Epstein victims. And you know how I know they lied? They have no receipts and they haven't gotten payouts because JP Morgan Chase put out $500 million of payouts to Epstein victims, the real ones. And these people haven't collected. I'm sorry, but you go get that money if you can get that money. Massie, Ro Khanna, MTG. These two right here, this is who all the bootlicking, black pilling, bot lovers, fraud lovers, grifter lovers are calling the real America firsters. They can't even say MAGA because they won't, because they're not MAGA and they know it. No, they say, I'm America first. They don't say I'm actually MAGA because they don't want to actually lie. They have weird beliefs about that stuff, these evil people. But we're real America first. And they're standing with this guy. And more it's coming out. They don't have what they said they did. And why aren't they asking, wait, you guys didn't give me names. Is it real? No, they're not asking because it was a lie the entire time. And they're in on it. This is coming out. And these people are calling them out now. Because you know what? Tracy is no big lover of Trump. He was looking forward to it. And Massie lied to his face. At least he's got the honor to call him out. Keeps going on. There's another side to this. Earlier in the chat had somebody say, hey, why no arrests? Well, along with there being many other things that got to get done first, along with it taking time, the DOJ is being tied up with the Epstein stuff, thanks to one Thomas Massie. 125 attorneys in SDNY out of maybe 500, that's a quarter of them, and 400 across the DOJ, the ranks of which are already reduced by resignations and terminations working hard to fill, are now spending much of their time reviewing nearly 2 million separate documents for purposes of releasing them. Now we know why Trump said, don't even bother, let them out. Let everybody get embarrassed. I don't care anymore. We need to get back to work. This is why. You have a quarter of one of their largest branches of the DOJ, 400 across an already short-staffed DOJ, is forced to do this stuff. Don't think that that's not part of the deep state's plan, and don't think that that's not exactly one of the reasons why Massie is doing this. It put a hit on Trump and slowed him down for months because it actually convinced some of the dummies out there that Trump was in on it. Despite the overwhelming evidence that I covered at least 20 times on my show and other people have covered that he isn't. But it doesn't matter because some people wanted to trust Massie more than everybody else, and they're getting sorely disappointed. Although most of them, especially in the influencer sphere, are too big of losers to admit it. They got to go down with that ship, baby. But this is another part of it. The Epstein thing has probably, when all is said and done, set back Trump's DOJ 4 to 6 months. So if you're mad there hasn't been arrests, one of the main people you should be mad at is Thomas Massie. He's one of the main people. Because listen, we were going to get the Epstein files anyways. And we could have just trusted Trump on it. But no, we played their game instead. Now, ultimately, there are good things that came out of it. The eyes of it, the Democrats no longer could call it a hoax, and now they're being exposed in it. That's all good. And I think much more is to come. Now they're up to 2 million more documents they say are coming. There's a lot coming out. But the way it was done, severely set back at least this first year. And so I'm not hearing too many people call for Massie on this, but it's got to be said. He's a total fraud, and he accomplishes nothing except slowing things down and progressing every time. You notice every single time Massie succeeds at something, it's also something the deep state's very happy about. Oh, it's just because us libertarians have principles, and sometimes those principles cross aisles. Nope. There's a reason for it. Look at where the enemies are rejoicing. Tells you all you need to know. Now we got Massie saying the judge needs to release the J6 pipe bomb suspect. Meanwhile, Chuck Ross reminds us that Massie spent 4 years treating the pipe bomb as one of the most important stories in the country, and now he wants to release him because it doesn't fit the narrative. How many narratives Thomas Massie, Massie is a perfect example of a grifter. What a grifter does, they promote lies that they know are untrue in order to promote their own career. Massie got away with it for years. You know why? Because there wasn't anybody to call him on it. There wasn't anybody getting anything done. So Massie could be out there touting his BS and looking like a hero because he can never be countered. Well, now he's getting countered on all of it. And he's left standing naked and alone. And yet, there's not enough people paying attention to this story. Trump's trying to get us all to look. Trump again, right from the beginning. That hat, that shirt, that slogan, Trump's right about everything, about all of it. Oh, and here's a friendly reminder. Thomas Massie is aligned with supporters of the Democratic Socialists of America. Strange bedfellows. Meet the PAC, Super PAC, Political Action Committee, with loads of money, working to re-elect Thomas Massie and partnering with the DSA to fight ICE. All you got to do is look at where our enemies are, look who's partnered with them, and you find out who our enemies on the inside are. And for some reason, I can tell you why, the Democratic Socialists of America love them Thomas Massie. Why? Why, Ace? Why would they do that? Well, one deep stater begets them all. One globalist, one City of Londoner begets them all. They all work together. The money flows all the same places. The uniparty has agents on both sides. And even though the left is fully co-opted by it, there's still a lot of hangers-on the right. And some of them are libertarians. Some of them are conservatives. Some of them are neocons. And yes, some of them are MAGA, but not for much longer because we keep outing them. Speaking of which, I saw the most beautiful thing today. Do you know how far Candace Owens' podcast has fallen? Calling out fake MAGA influencers. She went from numero uno for a while, not for long, but she did hit that height. She's now 57th on the charts and falling fast. Bye, Candace. Hope you enjoyed your career, because it's never going to reach those heights again. And I'm glad I got to be a part of being one of the first on there. I took a hit for it. That first 6 weeks, I was going after Candace. I'd say anywhere from 10 to 20% of my audience wasn't happy with me. Didn't trust me. Some of them trusted even though they didn't necessarily agree, and they were glad they did. But I lost a lot of people. But you know what? It was worth it because I won. And so did so many others. It feels good to be on the right side of history, even though sometimes you take a hit for it. White Rabbit says filibuster needs to happen. Get all aspects of the bills passed so people can see the good. Dems are not supporting anything for America because they all have handlers. That's absolutely right. And a lot of the Republican senators have handlers too. In fact, the Senate is much more rotten than the House. Trump went to the House today, gave a great speech. I highly recommend watching it. Very funny speech. He's Trump at his best. Had the first half very funny. But he was very clear that he loves the House. Called out a couple people, not by name, but he let everybody remember. And everybody knows who he's talking about, Massie, a couple others. But the point is that he loves the House, and he was saying his love for the House. The House is trying to pass everything. It's the Senate where it goes to die. The House has a few deep staters left, mostly been purged. And the reason why is the House gets recycled every 2 years. It's a lot faster to purge the House. The Senate, those guys get in for 6. Takes a little while longer to purge the Senate. And the Senate, on the Republican side, 53 senators, I believe anywhere from 30 to 35 of them are still deep staters. We have very few MAGA senators, very few. But that'll change over time. And the only reason they do anything is because they're scared to death of Trump. And he's able to get them moving on some stuff, but not enough. And that's why they haven't broken the filibuster yet, because it is not a MAGA Senate, and they think they're going to hold it off. D6 says on Candace, she'll never rise again. She played every card afforded to her. Absolutely she did. And burnt every bridge. Okay, couple other things. Let's move on from Massie, the fraud, even though it's one of my favorite subjects, calling out Thomas Massie and the libertards. There's a lot more going on. So let's talk about it. Let's get over here. And Greenland. Greenland is coming up quite a bit. And today we had a NATO official from Austria threatening us about Greenland. It says, if the U.S. annexes Greenland, we must confiscate all U.S. bases in Europe, says Austria's NATO Enlargement Committee Chairman Fallinger. If you take Greenland, you have to leave, he says. This dirty Austrian.
Every single base of the Americans, from Aviano to Ramstein, from Romania to all the other...
Ramstein, du hast. This guy's a joke, but listen, the funniest part is that that's kind of what we want anyways. Don't threaten us with a good time, bro. NATO, you guys want to kick us out? We're good. We'll happily leave. We'll take Greenland and all of our stuff. We'll keep the Western Hemisphere in Greenland, and bye-bye. Like, you guys are going to do anything without us. Yeah, NATO without the U.S., it's like the Beatles without Lennon and McCartney. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Imagine just, Ringo out there calling himself the Beatles with 3 other guys. That's NATO without the U.S. You took away, not just McCartney and Lennon. You take away Harrison too. You take away the 3 greatest Beatles and leave Ringo with 3 other jokers and just call them the Beatles. That's NATO without the United States. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that, boys. We're really not too scared of it. And as Peter St. Ongs laughs about it, you take Greenland, we'll take back every that's the point. But the funny part is they're really scared about it. They're really scared about it. They really are starting to think this is happening. And guess who called Trump today wanting to talk about Greenland? Yeah, Belgium and Denmark. Interesting. Something going on? I see one of 2 things happening. A, either we're going to freaking get Greenland, which baller. I'm in. Sign me up. Get us Greenland. That would be awesome. I'm so in on that. B, Trump gets everything he wants, just he doesn't get to call Greenland America's. He gets to put all the bases there. We get to take all the resources we want from it. Basically, it's ours, but not in name. But it's ours in every other way. That's how this is going to go. We're going to win either way. And Trump's, again, remember, it's the big ask, art of the deal. I want all of Greenland, but I'll take everything I want from Greenland and you guys can keep the name. Like that's might be how this ends up. And that's okay. Either way we win, and win huge, because NATO's pathetic. The EU is pathetic. These are the weakest people in the world. The globalists who are in the EU, but are not the EU, they run it. City of London types, the bankers, you know, the old British monarchy, or not monarchy, the British Empire types who are still trying to run things from behind the scenes, that had their heyday with Obama and it's all been downhill since, all fracturing on them since, had a little bump with Biden, but went back. They're done. They have no power anymore. Venezuela was one of the, it's not the final nail in the coffin, but it's close. They have nothing. They're grasping at straws, but they're freaking out. You can see it everywhere. Because Trump, he's not okay. He's not going to just sit there and say, okay, I'll stop now. No, he's going for it all. He's going for it all. And they can't do anything about it except cry. That's all they got. Notice this son isn't bringing up Russia's not saying anything. China's not saying anything. They're all going back and hunkering down and making their plans. But the globalists are freaking out. Freaking out. And you know what else they're freaking out about? They're freaking out that Trump's not putting their girl in Venezuela, the Machado chick. The chick who won, she played the long game and she lost. The long game being that when she won the Nobel Peace Prize, she said it belongs to Trump. She tried to butter him up. She was playing the long game, saying, if he takes Venezuela, I'm still here, boys. Don't worry. I'll make sure it runs for you guys. And Trump saw right through that nonsense, and she's not even coming in. Trump is reading the room. Lockfeld says, cool, bring the U.S. forces back from Europe. Love it. Zegrim says, Greenland's the new Green Deal. I love that. That's great. White Rabbit says, you're telling us that we get to remove our military and not have to pay. Exactly. The Greenland people want the U.S. U.S. people want the Greenland people and their women. Ew, Zegrims. What? Aren't you married, bro? Come on, man. They're women. There's 58,000 people there. I guarantee you out of that 58,000, there's probably like 15,000 women. That's it. What are we talking about? You know, they're probably like the dwarves in like Middle Earth, you know, where like Gimli is like, it's the dwarfs who hang out with little bearded women. Oh, you know, that's what I think of when I think of women in Greenland. Mara Igloo. That's the new name for Greenland. That'd be amazing. It's like, well, you know, you guys can come visit me in one of my homes. I really would love to show you Mar-a-Lago, Florida. I'm very proud, very proud. But I got this new one, Mara Igloo. It's a giant one. It's a big. I can't do Trump. Sorry. Do I think Trump's going to fix Wall Street? Yes. I've said this a million times. Maybe you're new to the show. Not trust to believe. I don't know because I can't see your name. I only see your tag. And I don't recognize it. But yes. But listen, I've said it a million times. So I'll give you the short version. The short version is Trump can't fix Wall Street until there's a crash. He just can't. A crash or a significant correction. because otherwise he would be responsible for the crash by fixing it. And that would take away a lot of his political capital moving forward. He just can't do it. All right, Zegrin. I'm going to give it to you, country. Let's, it's just like doing it. Yeah. Lochtefeld says he prays he ends dark pools. Well, I shared with you guys last night that the whole Venezuela thing is putting a lot of pressure on Wall Street. So we're getting close. It's a little bit at a time. It's a little bit at a time. Wall Street's a big deal. And the reason he has to go slow and gentle with Wall Street is because a lot of good people have significantly benefited from the corruption without knowing it. And I'm talking about people with 401ks. These people, their retirement is Wall Street. Pension funds is Wall Street. And so if Trump just takes a hammer to it and breaks it, yeah, those of us in short squeeze stocks are going to do awesome. But I'm sorry to tell you guys, there's a lot less of us than there are the people with the pensions and their 401ks. And Trump cannot let those people lose everything because they didn't know. They're good American people. Most of them are middle class. He can't let those people lose their retirements just because, he's going to bring a wrecking ball to Wall Street. No, he has to do it very carefully. And that's why I believe he can't move until a correction comes, which has to come. And then he can call out fraud from the correction and fix it. You guys, you have to remember, this is the difference between Trump and what everybody wants from Trump. Everybody has their own agenda, right? You guys want the short sellers. I want the short sellers taken out. I got money in there too. I've lost thousands of dollars. I want that done. Dark pool's done. People want arrests. People want cheaper gas. They want cheaper food. Everybody wants something. Trump is actually trying to do all of it, but he's trying to do all of it the right way so that it gets fixed and it lasts. Because some of this stuff, if he just went and did it, it would actually break other stuff he wants to do. He had one of the biggest coalitions in American history, different people. And Trump is a promise keeper, and he's trying to keep his promise to everybody. I'm sorry, guys. It just means it's going to be slower than you want it to be. But it does mean when it happens, it's going to be done the right way and a lasting way. And that actually should make you happier than him taking a wrecking ball and maybe just breaking something along the way. That's how I look at it. I keep seeing us winning. I literally have zero doubt about this. Zero. I truly believe that it's all going to be cleaned up over the next few years, but it's going to take time and it's going to be slower than you want. So you have two options. You can sit and focus on your one little issue, which is a big issue to you, but it's a little issue in the grand scheme of things. We can all sit and focus on our little issue, and we can complain about it every day and be miserable. Or we can look at the grander issue that our entire country is being fixed. We're going to leave a better country in all areas to our children and grandchildren. And we can celebrate legacy, something that actually matters. And we could say, oh, let's do this the right way. And then trust that when all of this is getting fixed, I'll get what I'm waiting for too. That's how I'm looking at it. You're never going to convince me otherwise. Not one person. I've had many people try. It's not going to happen. I'm locked in. I see wins every freaking day. Every week I see something happen that I literally thought would never happen. I have had so many hopes and dreams for our political system and our country come true in the last 9 years, and especially in the last year, that I have no black pill in me at all. I don't even have a worry in me at all. Well, that's not true. I don't have a worry about Trump. The only worry I have is that the people will get feckless and scared and worn out and apathetic, and they will miss their moment because Trump can't do it without the people. And already we see people blackpilling after just a year. We already see people, I'm not going to vote in the midterms. Okay, retard. Well, you might not vote in the midterms, and you might throw away the last 2 years when you were going to get what you wanted because you're impatient, because you're a brat. You're a spoiled, entitled brat. That's the problem. is that in America, we have a bunch of weaklings who no longer know how to do hard things and be patient. And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm not calling you guys out. I'm saying in general, that's my only concern, is that the American people got so weak over the last few years, few decades, that they're going to miss their miracle because they griped and complained when God gave us a miracle. And just like the Israelites coming out of Egypt, got right to the promised land. God showed it to them. The spies came back. 10 of the 12 were scared. And because they were scared, 2 of them tried to say, no, it's okay. We'll be fine. God brought this to us. The people sided with the scared ones. They sided with the influencers, the black pillars. They sided with the black pillars. And you know what God did? He got so angry that they rejected his solution and promise and they didn't trust him, that he said, 40 more years, you will be in the wilderness because not one of your generation deserves what I was going to give you. And so he let all of them die in the wilderness, and it was their children who got the promised land when it was meant for them. So ask yourself this. We got our miracle, guys. Our promised land is right here. Are we going to black pill it away, or are we going to take it? Not on my watch. I'm not going to let it happen on my watch. I'm going to do everything I can to show how we're actually winning. And I'm not going to let one issue, I don't have a pet issue that can ruin this for me. I'm about the big win. Yeah, exactly. Lochtefeld says, except 2, Joshua and Caleb. You know why they were the only 2 that got to survive that generation go in? Because they were the only 2 spies that tried to convince the people to go. And so that's what I'm hoping God sees in me, is that if this, me and everybody else refusing the black pill, that if we screw this up, if my generation screws this up because they won't listen, because they're so entitled, if they screw it up, I'm praying that God at least lets me see it for my kids and grandkids, keeps me alive long enough to see it. So I will not be that person who goes in and is afraid. I will not be that person who gets so myopic in my viewpoint that I will say, Trump's failing because I'm not getting my way. Wah! Screw that. That's for babies. I know I raised 6 of them. That's how babies act. When my 8-year-old throws a tantrum, when my 2-year-old throws a tantrum, I try to fix it. When my 8-year-old throws a tantrum, I say, why are you acting like a baby? This is not who you are. Well, I'm trying to tell a generation of adults, why are you guys acting like babies? Well, there's no arrest. Get over it. We're winning. It'll happen. What about Wall Street? Get over it. It's part of something. Everything's being fixed. I know it's your money. I lost money too. Okay? Trust me. But you know what's more important than my money? My kids get a better future. My grandkids get a better future. I want to leave something that matters. I can't take that money with me. Would it give me a better life now? Yes. Do I want to still be in the grind I'm in every day now? No. Hell no. I don't want to be doing what I'm doing anymore. I work. And then I come on and do this show. And I also take care of my family. I do it all. I show up every night here because this matters for my legacy, for the future. I work during the day to provide for that family. I would love to have my breakthrough where I can work on my own, where I can build on my own. I can't do that yet. I'm not there yet. That's my dream. That's my promised land. That's what the money, if Wall Street got fixed, would help me get. Do you think I want that? Yes. But you know what's way more important to me than that is that my kids get that chance. I would rather them get it than me. And so I just don't have the patience anymore. Drives me crazy. Oh, we hate Trump, man. He just freaking won't fix Wall Street. I don't I'm at the point where it just drives me nuts. And I'm not saying you, please don't take it personal. People writing this in the chat. I don't mean you guys. I do mean the people who are actually ditching Trump because they're not getting their way, who are actually refusing to see the hundreds and hundreds of wins that I went over on New Year's Eve, went through all the wins of 2025, hundreds of them. And they won't see those because all they care about is their one thing. Screw that. That's what babies do. Hey, you got everything going for you. You get to nap and poop in your diaper, and you get to watch, your show when you want, and you get to play all day. You don't have to work. Everything's provided for you. Wow, I want that toy that she has that I didn't even want 2 minutes ago, but now she has it. I want that. Wow. That's what babies do. And every freaking person who's turning on Trump despite all these wins, who's saying we're not winning, is a freaking loser. I don't have time for loser mentality in my life. I can't. I got kids to raise. I have a future to build for them. And I see that we were given a once in a generation chance, maybe a once in a century chance, to actually change the world, not just America, the world. But it starts here. And we got one chance. God gave us one of the greatest miracles in history. When everything, the greatest nation in world history, was about to fall apart, no hope, God gave us a man who nobody expected. And he gave us a man and a movement. And we have one chance. And if we don't do it, it's going to come back, because God will always bring back the chance, but it won't be on our time. We will miss it. And I say no. I refuse to let that happen. Whew, sorry guys. That was somewhere deep coming out of me, that rant. Sorry. Love you guys. But it just keeps coming up. Thank you, Tay. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Johnny, Jerry. Appreciate you guys. Everybody saying nice things. Thank you. Yeah. And again, if anybody took that personal, don't. I'm not coming after anybody here. What I am coming after, though, is that mentality. And if deep down you're having that mentality, you're struggling with it, kick its ass and send it packing. Say goodbye. I don't want to be that person. And don't be. You have the choice. Okay, a couple other things here. Speaking of that attitude, even Asmongold, which most of you probably don't know who this is, he is one of the biggest influencers for teenagers and 20-somethings. This guy was a gaming streamer who's really smart and became a political commentator that none of us watch, except I check in with him sometimes. Very smart dude. Makes a great point, and this is what Gen Z is thinking. The Trump doctrine says we get Greenland. If Europe doesn't like it, they can start paying for their own defense. There it is. It's spreading. So we have a generation below us that's actually waking up, guys. It's actually waking up. And I just wanted to share that as a result. And then the White House, who's just, their media team is doing, it's God's work here. Put out this a beautiful thread, which I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll just show it to you guys for a minute. You can go check it out yourself. But just calling out the Democrats and their hypocrisy. And again, I mean, look at the White House, 3.3 million followers, which is way too small, but still one of the biggest accounts in the world. People check in on it. And Democrats not keeping their word on Venezuela's thread, and they just go through all of them. Schumer, then and now. Warren, then and now. Durbin, Kane. I mean, they go through all of them. I mean, you see, I hate, of course, support bringing in the new president, delegitimizing the Maduro government. Then, now, I strongly oppose sending American forces in harm's way. And then they have a read more. I mean, it's beautiful. I applaud this White House so much. They're calling it all out, and it's amazing. Okay, let's talk some wins here before we go tonight. Gas prices now down to $2.81 a gallon nationwide. And the only reason it's up that high is because of idiots, places like California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Hawaii, these Dem places, which Hawaii is not all their fault because they're an island, but still they overtax it. All these places that are paying $5, $6, $7 a gallon, they're bumping up the average. The real average, much lower. But what really matters is this. American households are going to save $11 billion on gas in 2026 compared to 2025. And you can see the average prices here. Which state are you in? I'm in the white state, which says 281 to 264. North Carolina, guys, I'm paying 229. So I don't know who put this together. Maybe it's actually much lower. Maybe AAA is lying. Maybe this is actually like 260, and AAA is just trying to make Trump look bad, because I'm in North Carolina and I'm paying 229. It says 265 is the low. So that's some nonsense right there. But you can just see the deep blue states are the cheapest. Texas, 224. In Oklahoma, somebody was paying 187. I mean, it's is Jersey cheap? I would not have expected that. I would have expected Jersey to be much more expensive. So this is a lie because this graph has Jersey at 280 to $3, and somebody's saying that Jersey it's 250. So, I mean, come on, they're lying. They even bumped up the prices for this graph. They're trying to make the blue states look better too. They're saying it's only 440 at the top in California. We all know that's not true. So $2.99 for ethanol free. That's pretty good actually. So anyways, gas prices going way, way down, even lower than this, as we just proved in the chat. And I proved from my own experience. Trump, since he's taken office, he cut 646 regulations so far. That might not seem like a lot, but it adds up. And these are probably big ones because they totaled over $200 billion in annual savings. Remember I told you guys this year, tax cuts, deregulation, it all adds up. That's a lot of money back in the people's pockets, and we're at $1,500 per household back in our pockets right now before we get the benefits of the tax cuts, before we get the benefits of, that's not counting, I should say, the benefits of lower gas, which will lead to lower food. Trump is winning. We're winning. This is massive. We are cutting bureaucracy. Trump's EO said cut 10 regulations for every new one. So that means in the last year, maybe they've done 60 new regulations and cut 640. We love it. Absolutely brilliant. And the money is coming back to our pockets. Here's Trump on the tariffs. You know what? Since I love the man, I'm going to let him have his minute 15 right here.
From Russia. We're getting rich because of tariffs, by the way. I hope everyone understands that. They hate to report. We're going to have over $650 billion poured into our country or coming in shortly because of tariffs. You know, they're finding all of these pockets of money a couple of weeks ago. Sir, we're off by $39 billion. Oh, is that good or bad? Meaning, do we have it or are we short of it? Sir, it's $39 billion that we can't account for. That means we have an extra 39. Yes, sir. I said, well, what are you saying? We just don't know where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. Sir, that tariff doesn't start until September. I said, no. It started about a month and a half ago. Check it. Comes back 25 minutes later. Sir, you were right. It came from tariffs. This never happened to us before, where we find plus 39 billion, not million, plus 39 billion. They were missing. We've taken in $650 billion or shortcoming, and that's because I'm being nice.
Holy smokes. Them's some big numbers. In year one, $650 billion. I'm telling you guys, if he goes through and gets that stimmy check passed that doesn't have to be printed, the stimulation to the economy, especially now with what just happened in Venezuela, is going to be insane. Trump told the House today that they're going to win the midterms. Listen, Trump, he never lies, but sometimes he blusters ahead of time. He makes predictions because it's not a lie. He's just calling it out. I think we are. And one of the reasons I think we are is because of this. The economy should be really, really picked up by the time the election comes. And that's how you win, when you shock everybody with something like that. Everybody loves the foreign policy stuff, except for the Israel tards who, listen, their whole narrative of Trump's controlled by Israel has like faded away so much. They're losing that ground really fast. The Venezuela thing is overall popular. People like it. Gen Z, of all people, is the generation that loves it the most. That's huge. So I think we're going to win the midterms. And one of the reasons is this. Supreme Court this Friday scheduled opinion issuance day. And we're waiting for race-based redistricting of the Voting Rights Act. They're going to turn it. They're going to shake that down. If they blow up the Voting Rights Act with this ruling, which I believe is coming, that's automatically 15 to 20 new seats for the Republicans. Just like that. Just like that. 15 to 20 seats for the Republicans. You put in the redistricting that's been done, and then you add this on top of it, and then you add a roaring economy. Guys, we might not just win, we might pick up 10 to 15 seats. That's what's possible in the midterms. Polymarket right now has 80% chance the Democrats win. It's nonsense. Polymarket had 7% chance we were going into Venezuela the night before we went. Don't believe that crap. Don't believe the black pillars. The only thing we can do is look ahead. And looking ahead means it looks good. It actually looks good. The only thing that could kill it is Republicans being idiots, which they're doing a pretty good job. Not Trump. When I say Republicans, I mean the Congress. They're doing their best to screw it up. But despite that, Trump might bring in such a strong year in the Supreme Court helping that they went. The other thing that might happen on Friday, guys, we also might get the tariff ruling, which with $650 billion in, I guarantee you one of the reasons Trump said this today and is getting out there is because he wants to scare them. If somebody's on the fence right before they issue it, say, listen, do you really want to cause this mess? Or do you want to give me my tariff power? If we win on tariffs and Voting Rights Act, those are going to be two of the biggest wins in in our history, in Supreme Court history. And they could both happen on Friday. So if you like what you're hearing, guys, if you are shaking off the black pill, if you are filled with hope and expectation, and you can see we're winning, hit that like, please. I appreciate it. If you're new, if you liked what you're hearing, hit that subscribe, hit that follow if you're on Rumble or X. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch the show tonight. Love you guys. Appreciate you. We are winning. We are going to win. We are digging our heels in and refusing to lose. And we have a leader who's doing it better than we are. So because of that, we will not lose. JD Vance will give us another 8 years. Guys, this is the beginning of the winning, not the end. I believe that with literally everything that's in me. So if you guys don't mind, before we leave tonight, let's take a second. Let's thank the Lord, bow our heads and pray, because it is prayer that got us our miracle, and it's prayer that's going to see it through. So Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for today. God bless everybody watching, Lord. God bless our president, his team. Thank you for the wins. Even when we're not getting our particular wins, thank you. We can see you are getting so much done through President Trump for our nation. So we thank you for that, Lord. We thank you for the turning of the ship. We thank you, God, that you saved our great nation and gave us another chance. We refuse to be those who get so lost in our own fears and insecurities and desires that we will squander this. Not on our watch. So in the name of Jesus, we ask for justice in our nation, prosperity to return to our nation. We ask for protection over our president and his team. We ask for wisdom for them and the boldness to keep doing the big moves, keep doing what needs to be done. We pray the Supreme Court is wise, and that any of them that are on the fence would wake up, that you would come to them in their sleep if they have to and have them rewrite their opinions so that the tariffs get through, Lord, and that the Voting Rights Act that is so evil because it's based on race, which is so demeaning to humanity, gets struck down. We pray this in Jesus' name. And God, we thank you for all you're doing. We bless everybody here. I pray that everybody, Lord, has their needs met this week, that you would be with them, Lord. Give them whatever it is they need. Help them get through any hard times they're facing, and help them, Lord, to feel hope and joy in every season. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Love you guys. Actually, I just saw a post a minute ago before I started praying that Rubio has now gone to Congress and said, we want to take Greenland. It's on, baby. It's on like Donkey Kong. So love you guys. Have a blessed night. If you're new, or if you've been a long time watcher and you want to help support the show, just go in the description and you can click that link to Patreon, get a free month. And if you enjoy the membership, guys, you can support the show for just $5 a month. And that helps me keep showing up every night, because it does take a lot of time to put these shows together. I love doing it. I'll be here regardless, but the support really helps, especially my wife, who gives up some of her time with me for me to do this. So thank you guys. God bless you. I'm also saving up for a new PC because this one is on the fritz. It's about to die, but for now it's trucking on. Anyways, love you guys. God bless you. Have a great night. And members, we're back. New year, first members live of the new year tomorrow night. See you then. Good night.